Aren't you about tired of listening to sports shows with all the woke bullshit? So are we. This is Patriot Sports Radio.
Patriot Sports Radio.
Fed up with the national talking heads and biases of mainstream sports media. If it's sports, from the high school level to the pros, we're talking about it. Like the red-blooded Americans we are.
God bless America.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Let's do this. And now, here's Eric, Angela, John, Chris, and the coach.
Welcome back, my friends. If you are new, then welcome in Patriot Sports Radio. My name is Eric. I'm your host. You're just going to have to get used to that. Coach is in the tree stand. He might join us from the tree stand. He might come in from the tree stand. Who knows? He might be drawn down on a big old whitetail buck deer right now. John is going to Vienna, but he is going to join us here before he leaves in a few minutes. Angela's building a whole interior decorating business. I don't know. She's out there conquering the interior decorating world. She will be back with us soon. But anytime you got cricket, you got a show. Cricket from sportspicks.locals.com is here. I don't think some of you know him. He is an awesome human being, a big college football guy, big NFL guy. And he somehow got hockey figured out, too, with the anytime goal scorers, just based on names. How you doing, Cricket?
I'm all right, man. I appreciate the kind words right there. I'll tell you what, you got a wide array of characters in y'all's squad, too, man. You got the tree stand, build interior decorating business. I don't know where you said John was going. John's always traveling, I feel like, man.
Yeah, he's a globetrotter.
That's
Casey
right.
Budge is here. Good. I was starting to worry about him. I thought he was lost
Casey,
out on the
what's
range.
up, brother? David, the genius, is in the house. Also over on Rumble, we got Piss and Super James, Patriots in the house. What's up, fellas? Let's
Piss
get
Ant, what a
into it.
name.
We got a lineup today.
I was a little worried about Casey. Sometimes you got to chase a wild steer or something out into the woods and bring it back.
He's bull riding
lost out
out
there.
in Wyoming.
Yeah. That dude's a man's man. He's out there riding buck and broncs and shit.
That's right.
So, since you're a college football enthusiast, let's start with that stuff. Arch Manning, is he going to hit the portal? Because it's all but decided Quinn Ewers is coming back as the starting quarterback next season. He's not going to ride the bench again, is he? Heavy Steps is here. Now we got a party. How you doing?
Good morning, fellas.
Heavy Steps,
Haven't seen you in a while.
Outstanding gambler.
Who's in the house, Eric?
Heavy Steps is here. Cricket's here. Producer Chris is here. John's on the way.
On the screen.
We got on the screen. I see Cricket. I see Producer Chris.
Do you see comments?
I think he's talking about the Facebook
No comment.
user.
Oh, yeah. I see I see your phone. I see Skip. Good morning. That's Skip. You can call yourself Facebook user, but I know who you are. You got the Oklahoma. He's voting
Facebook
Trump
user.
24.
That's my dad. What's up, Pops?
Apple doesn't fall far
still
from the
kicking
tree.
it.
Casey's at
Is he in
vet
steel toe
school.
boots too?
Nah, maybe.
Maybe.
What time is it? Yeah, he is 9:30.
9:30. Yep.
He got the boots on at
I thought he
9:30.
I
slept in
bet
them
he's
like
got
you.
about 2 ARs and a fucking 45 next to him.
Oh.
He's right now. He's sitting on the kitchen counter, probably right next to his coffee pot, looking out the big window, going, "Come on, one fucking ATF, just show up, motherfucker."
Somebody knock on my door.
You son of a bitch.
Doesn't even like seeing the mail truck.
Somebody
now.
try to rob me. Somebody try to break a window.
Yeah.
You ain't getting off of that back 40.
That's why they'll never
Casey
get
says
our
vet
gun.
school trying to kill him. Do they have clinicals in vet school? Or are you like working 20-hour shifts there just to see what you're made of? I don't know.
Surely
But he's
they do,
taking
right?
this- Yeah.
I mean,
He's
you're a
taking this
doctor.
med stuff seriously. Yeah. You
What's
get
up, Casey?
doctor in front of your name.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
cool, man.
Yeah.
You must love
Do you
animals
think-
to do that job.
Yeah. You got to reach in their butts.
He likes
Like
Yeah.
that's part of it.
Right. A big part
That
of
is part of it.
it.
They clean their glands out and everything. But here, hey, I will tell you one thing. I ain't driving up Chris or his dad's driveway anytime soon. Because I ain't trying to be met with none of that shit.
Call
Come on. My car's in the driveway right now.
Call.
I didn't even knock, but the dogs know me, so I'm good.
That's
All
right.
the 20-hour shifts come later. So
Dang.
is Quinn Ewers gonna bail out of Texas cricket, and where would he go?
You mean Arch Manning? Quinn
Arch
Ewers
Manning.
come back? I don't know, man. This is the day and age we live in college football right now with the transfer portal. You got these kids, especially the big time recruits that are coming in. If they don't, the instant gratification society we have, if they don't come in and perform right away, they want to jump ship and go try to find the next best thing. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And, I don't know that if Arch Manning, even if Quinn Ewers comes back next year, does Arch Manning give you that much? I mean, is he not? Maybe he's better. A year under his belt. He's got the learning. He ain't got any playing time. But tell me right now, Arch Manning's not even ahead of Malik Murphy. So Malik Murphy's going to hit the portal for sure. He knows he's not going to, he knows if Quinn Ewers was to leave, which it looks like he's going to come back, that Malik Murphy would have a hard time beating out Arch Manning anyway. So he's just been auditioning in those games that he's been getting lately and trying to show that he's a player too. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where that's the thing I do hate about the transfer portal, because it doesn't, some of these kids, so at the first sign of adversity, they're jumping ship, headed somewhere else.
I just wanted to ask you about that, Cricket. So, and we've gotten into the transfer portal quite a bit on this show because we've got some big personalities that have big feelings about that transfer portal. So let me tell you about this is the accountability factor that we're going to lose in society. So now we can jump ship at the first fucking offset comment. It changed the way you can coach. It changes the way you do everything.
It's a double-edged sword, man. I like the transfer portal. I like kids getting opportunities. There's a lot of kids that don't even get noticed coming out of high school.
You're right.
And you go to these smaller schools and they wind up, you develop a lot especially as a male from 18 to 20 years old. Your body grows up a lot right there.
Yep.
So some of these kids kind of come into their own, and that's really when they take that next step. And so some of these kids that are playing at the Kent States and stuff of the world do get that chance to go and play at the bigger time schools, the Florida States, the Tennessees, the Oklahomas, all that different stuff. So they do. And that's every kid's childhood dream. When you grow up watching that, you want to play at those big time schools and the big time games on prime time. And so I like that part of it, but I do hate the fact that I think if you commit to a school, you should have to stay for 2 years minimum. I don't think you should be able to leave after your freshman year.
I like that. There's a happy medium.
And I think, because I think you should. There are sometimes you realize that this is not my spot. But I think sometimes you think it's not your spot because you're not getting exactly what you want right away. And you have to work for a little bit. And there's so many kids that lose that work ethic because they just can bail out on it. So I think if you commit to a school, you should have to commit for 2 years. If after 2 years you still think it's going rocky, then you should be able to move on and find a better spot for yourself.
Casey makes a great point. He hates the transfer portal, or he loves the transfer portal because it takes everybody with grit out of the mix.
Yeah,
I do like that, but the problem is that if you never get a constant class, where back in the day, you recruited to have these classes in place, and you can't really do that now because you can't be for sure.
Well, I mean, you talk about coaches that have really kind of taken a step back with this thing. Look at Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney hates the transfer portal. He will not dip into it at all, which puts you at a disadvantage. Because if everybody else is using this extra recruiting pool, which is stocked full of 5-star and 4-star monsters out there, and if you're not using that, he wants to bring his guys in and develop them, yada, yada, yada. I don't care for Dabo Swinney anymore. I've always been a big fan. The whining and crying bitching I've heard him do this year, not really a fan anymore. He doesn't have, he lacks that accountability that we're looking for right here. And if you're not going to use the portal like that, and some coaches are not because they don't want to, they're set in their ways, but it puts you at a disadvantage. So you got to catch up with the times because it's completely changed the game.
Yeah, this isn't the bargain bin. You're not looking for diamonds in the rough. These are players we know are good. They're leaving smaller schools because they've outgrown the small pond.
Yeah. Yeah, and even guys that get big schools. Go ahead, Steps.
They're the random cornerback when they're announcing like what school they went to on Sunday Night Football, where you're like, where'd that guy come from? Those guys are the ones who are transferring out of those small schools, getting to a bigger school, getting more exposure. I personally enjoy the transfer portal just because I feel like it kind of evens out the playing field a little bit. Especially when we're going to go to 12 teams. We need some solid teams on the back end of that 12-team playoff. So I love to see the quarterbacks move. I do like the rule that if they move twice, the second time they move, I think they have to actually sit out, right?
Get out of your
and just with NIL, the money,
circumstances, something like the Tez Walker situation where he came back home to help his ailing grandmother, and they finally got that one right. The NCAA tried to screw that up, but there's extenuating circumstances for the two transfers. But I'm with you. If you're just doing it because you're not getting the playing time you want, you should have to sit out the year like you used to have to.
Yeah, it's always been that way. So like if you had like a sick mother, father, or relative, they'd allow you to petition to move back, closer to home. Makes sense. But we've seen the money's changed NCAA. We're getting ready to move to the 12-team playoff. We've got the transfer portal. We're getting ready to have these power conferences. I don't know. We're going to get to a point where will the NCAA actually control college football as it is today, or will it be like a separate entity?
Well,
Will it be controlled by these slush funds who are providing the NIL money, essentially?
Well,
Yeah.
let's. The NCAA is one of the most corrupt organizations in the history of organizations, man. It's a bunch of old, rich white dudes sitting around wanting to flex their muscles and act like they have power, and it's kind of outdated.
The Zelensky AA.
It's like, well, you look at this is kind of a transition into a different topic, but the James Madison stuff right there, where they got this team that's moved up from 1AA to Division I, FCS to FBS. And there's a stupid rule in the NCAA where if you transition up to another division, you have to wait 2 years before you can compete in postseason play. That's ignorant. You're not gaining any advantage by moving up in divisions because those teams have already been recruiting other players that are already considered on a higher level. You've got better resources available to you. You're just all around bigger school. You have more money to go in that program. You're not gaining advantage by moving up. So the fact they have to sit out, because you got a team like James Madison who came up last year. A lot of these teams transition. They play half a Division I AA schedule, half a Division I schedule. James Madison did not do that. They came up, played a full Division I schedule.
Yeah,
They won the Eastern Division of the Sun Belt Conference last year. Weren't allowed to compete in the conference championship or a postseason bowl game. Well, this year they're sitting there at 9-0, got a big game day. Game day's down there today. And if they're right now the highest ranked group of 5 team. They won't even put them in the playoff ranking because they're ineligible, but they'd be the highest ranked group of 5 team, which means they go and play in a New Year's Six bowl. That's millions and millions of dollars for that university.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes to the entire athletic program. That gets swimming, wrestling, baseball, softball, volleyball. All those programs get some of that money to help make their program better. It makes the school better as a whole, man. It generates more money to the state economy. There's a lot of things. Virginia's wanting to sue the NCAA if they don't overturn this now, because you really put this school at a detriment, and it's bullshit. They can't compete. It's a stupid, outdated rule.
Yeah, it's absolutely crooked.
Sorry, y'all. That gets me fired up right there. I had to run a little bit.
Well,
let the boys play.
I'm looking at a headline from the Gig'em Gazette from 21 hours ago. Texas A&M football. Is Jimbo Fisher the worst head coaching hire ever?
Yep.
Or I guess former coach Jimbo Fisher.
He made his money. We know that. So
he sure did.
It's guaranteed, right? So he's going to be paid either way.
Fuck him.
Where's he go next?
I'd go buy me an island and sit on that motherfucker.
Just chill.
Is what I would do.
Texas A&M would be stupid not to hire Elko. I mean, he was the defensive coordinator there and then left.
Hey,
look what he's done at Duke.
It don't matter who they hire; they're going to screw it up again. They're going to pay him too much damn money like this. I said when they gave this man all this money guaranteed, no coach in America is worth that. If you give them all that guaranteed money, it's just like giving Deshaun Watson all that guaranteed money. You give somebody all that guaranteed money, they have no reason to be motivated. None at all.
Yeah. None.
Because you're going to pay me whether you fire. I want you to fire me. I don't have to work. You got to give me the money anyway. Why not fire me? It's
Casey's making good point after good point about the transfer portal. He says his favorite fact about it is you can predict where people are going to go by where their girlfriends are.
Right.
There's got to be a way we can make money off of this.
Got to be, man.
The only thing the NCAA does right is March Madness. They do nail that.
They have got that figured out. You're not wrong, sir. You are spitting knowledge down there, Casey, because they do have that part figured out.
Yeah. Who did we have on the show, Chris, who said Jimbo Fisher showed up in a helicopter to recruit a kid at their high school?
What a douchebag.
That
a couple guys do that. Kirby Smart does that at Georgia.
Well, he's winning national championship. He can do whatever he wants.
I know, right?
No, it was a cat from the Detroit Panthers or Michigan Panthers.
Chase DeMore?
No, it was the next one.
Who are the
Guy
Detroit
Kansas
Panthers
State
or the Michigan Panthers? Who are that?
He went to K-State, defensive back, linebacker.
Yes.
Michael something.
Yes. God, we did a lot of USFL interviews.
Yeah, when we first started, the USFL had just first started to kick off, so we had gotten in with the Michigan Panthers team and had a bunch of those guys on, and then one of the cheerleaders, shout out to
Madison from the Birmingham Stallions. She's got to be like post grad now, crushing.
Oh
it.
yeah, well I talked to her dad still, Chris. What's up, brother? He still watches us.
Big Bama fan.
Yeah,
he's having a rough
from
one.
Alabama.
I'll let you slide on that, man. I listen. I hate y'all, but I gotta respect you.
Yeah, they run a nice coaching, what we call the coaching car wash down there.
Yep.
Fuck up, go see Saban for a year, go through his coaching car wash, come out, go get you a new job. That's how it works.
That's right. That,
Yep.
you know, shit, man. That's what I'm saying. It's so impressive what he does. He's got to replace everybody on the staff every year, sending all these players to the draft.
Yeah.
And he's got to come back and compete. He's doing a lot better than Dabo.
Got to show up in a helicopter. I bet a lot of these
And he
coaches
does it under
think
the
stuff
same
like
rules
that.
as Dabo. They have the same rules,
Yeah.
and he
They all
manages to get it done.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's not a bitch.
Correct. Heavy steps. The Yankees won't make any structural changes, they say. Did you see that Brian Cashman press availability where he basically said they have a bunch of great baseball people? There's people calling, trying to poach our metrics guys all the time, and we're not going to make any big changes because I think we're pretty fucking good, actually. And I think he thought that F-bomb would get him some headlines, and people would say, yeah, the Yankees are.
Yeah, that's our guy.
But I'm not so sure about that. I don't remember a lot of Yankees playoff games, so I don't know how good they could be.
I think he's ran his course there. It's probably time to maybe he should be the one that they kind of make a change with. Yeah, I mean, both New York teams at this point suck, so they can't win their division. But the AL East is a tough division. There's a lot of money. They're stacked out there. Like, Blue Jays spend a lot of money in free agency. New York's always spent a lot of money. I think the problem with them has always been they haven't grown their farm system. That's what you're seeing now, and that's why you've seen them get better. But they're tied to a lot of money with Stanton, and Stanton's god awful. I mean, he's fallen off the face of the earth. Dude can't hit a baseball anymore. I mean, he hits home runs, but other than that,
here and there, but he strikes out so goddamn much. He's an out every time he comes up.
Well, that's why Cashman got that flack too, man. He said, well, he's not going to play the whole year next year. Basically, he was like, he's going to get hurt. That's just part of his game. That's why they started throwing some shade at him. It was like, well, I mean, the guy's not wrong though. I'm just saying, you look at the number, it's right there in front of you in black and white. I'm just saying, if we're going off historic things, the guy's not going to play a full season. When's the last time he did?
Yeah.
If ever.
They got a lot of bad money tied up there in New York. I mean, they still got Garrett Cole pitching, but I mean, they're just not deep in pitching, and Aaron Judge is good if he's healthy, but
so if they don't do much, they're in trouble next year.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same team they're going to put out there.
Cole is, bro. Garrett Cole won the Cy Young on the garbage ass team, man.
Yeah.
They couldn't hit their way out of a wet paper bag for a while there.
Yeah, and he still got wins.
And he's dealing on the bump.
The Braves actually made a lot of trades in the last 48 hours, and their 40-man roster is down to 30 men. They have 10 openings on their roster.
Guys for that reliever or whatever the other day.
Dude, they got rid of a lot. I don't know what Anthopoulos is doing. He's got something cooking. Obviously, he's got 10 spots open on his 40-man roster.
Yeah.
Ohtani's who everybody wants, but where's Ohtani going? LA probably.
I mean, he could you? I don't know. You could market him in Atlanta. Atlanta's not like it's a small market, man.
I mean, he wants to go somewhere he can win.
He's competing for a ring right there. Yeah. I don't know the Dodgers. It feels like a Dodgers. Too. He feels like he's going to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
It's still close. It's West Coast. It's good market.
Not everybody has the stomach to write a check that big.
Right again. Yeah. The Braves damn sure ain't doing that either. The Braves ain't coming off that money. They just like to build players up and let somebody else buy them.
Well, yeah, they have all their Acuna's contract's low, Ozzy Albies is low. Like they have all these guys tied up 8 years at $150 million or less. So Acuna's not going to get paid. Oh yeah, he's going to get paid.
As soon as those are up, somebody will get $300 million from the Yankees.
But that's okay because you have that whole nucleus controlled for the next 5 years, 4 or 5 years, and you have money now to go get what you need to get to make the run. They're best team in baseball all year. I mean, it didn't translate to the playoff, but that just happens. It's getting hot at the right times. Those teams in the wild card always come in and do that in playoffs. We can talk about them sitting because they had to sit longer before games. Whatever. Go out there and win the fucking game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know though, man. Baseball's a tricky sport. I think if you're the one seed, you'll have the option. Be like, I want to play the wild card series. Fuck it.
Right. You should be able to have the option.
I should beat them anyway. Let me play.
I like that.
There's been more wild cards who have made World Series than one seeds.
Yeah, they get hot, man. They get hot.
Yep.
Baseball's such a streaky game right there, and they get on a little roll like the Rangers and the Diamondbacks did. And they just roll through that thing.
Yeah, it's like a home run derby.
We won the World Series.
One guy you get to hit for 2 minutes straight, and then the next guy you take a 5-minute break between minutes 1 and 2. And the guy who hits for 2 minutes straight probably gonna hit more home runs because it's just about getting in the groove.
Yeah.
and repetition. That's all baseball really is. And
I agree. And it's not the same when you're going there pitching those simulated games and shit like that. They want to let people in the stadium make it. That's not the same thing. It's just not. It doesn't prepare you. And almost, I feel like it might hurt you, man. I don't even know if I'd want to put those miles on the arms and that shit.
Yeah. Our team's going to start playing for the 2 seed. They, looks like they're going to lock up a bye, and they're like, you know what? Let's drop a couple here.
I'm just saying. I think if you're the 1 seed, the way you fix that, because then you'll have teams start kind of back off at the end of the season. The way you fix that, the 1 seed gets the option. If I want to play, fine. If I don't, I'll wait a couple days, because I think there's really something to this where these teams get hot and they just roll through this thing. I mean, both teams in the World Series this year played in the wild card round.
And how fun would that be for us to talk about on the various sports shows? Like, are they going to essentially walk this team to get to this team? Because that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
Saying, you know what? You're so bad. We're going to put it all on the line right now. We'll play a series with you. Fuck it.
Yeah. We're supposed to beat you. If we can't beat you, we don't deserve it anyway.
Yeah. There you go.
And you'll have managers saying shit like that, grabbing headlines. I mean, this would be awesome. Yeah.
I agree.
We need to do it.
I agree.
I want 7-game series. I don't like the 5-game series or the 3, just because you can stack the pitching. And I feel like you have to really manage a 7-game series more than 5-game and 3-game. It's pretty easy as far as off days now. Like, you don't even freaking play.
And
like, you play one night and have an off day. Yeah.
And we play 162 games. Hey, how about we play 150 and then have all 7-game series? Well, I'd rather watch. I'll tell you what, I don't watch any of those 162. I watch all the playoff games. So the more of those you got, the more you're going to get me in there tuning in, buddy. There's your ratings right there.
Yeah.
See, Cricket, we told you this was a different kind of show.
I love this.
And if you want to be a vet out west, it's not the same as being a vet in an urban setting. Casey said we had a guy come to buy a horse in a helicopter, and he tried to negotiate the price. I think once you show up in a helicopter, you're paying the sticker.
Yeah, you're paying.
You're MSRP here, brother.
I'm jacking up. You get the douchebag tax.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Cricket right here. David wants some college football nuggets.
You got some nuggets? Give us
got his ass kicked
give us
in the
your
NBA
favorite nuggets.
Yeah, man. Let me get my slate pulled up here real quick. I sent you my favorite one, Steps. I saw where you tagged me on Twitter. I sent you a message.
Yeah.
My top plays today, I got Mississippi State minus 9.5 in the first half.
Hail State.
I like Miami, the Hurricanes -1 at home against Louisville. Navy, East Carolina under 30, and Utah, Arizona over 46.5. That's my top 4 plays.
There you go. That'll get you back in the fucking.
I got the whole list up, David. I tagged you on Twitter, man. I got the whole list up. Go check it out. You'll see I'm on. I think I got 19 picks today, man. So
no big deal.
Out,
yeah, he likes
the
college football Saturdays.
That's
Speaking
right.
of baseball, Craig Counsell went to Chicago Cubs, and we're all very hurt up here. People are making Benedict Arnold number 30 shirts. I mean, he says he went down there because he didn't want to travel too far, but he needed a new professional challenge. You know what you did. You went to the hated Chicago Cubs, and now we have to hate you as well.
You know what you did, he said.
We were pretty much, he had run his course here, I think, already. The fan base, we were pretty much, it was the same shit every year, mediocrity. And really, that's all we're providing. That's all he was being provided with the salary. But it was just time. Sometimes, isn't that right, Heavy? Sometimes a manager's just run his course, and whether it's been bad enough or not, it's just time to move on. Is that the situation we were in with Milwaukee?
Yeah, I just think Craig Counsell, I've never been a big fan. I've always thought he always overthought every decision he makes, and sometimes it's just too much. So, dude, the Cubs they paid a lot of money to get him. So I don't think he's worth it. But I guess the Cubs are looking to spend a little bit of money. We'll see what they can do in free agency.
You can't beat them, fucking buy them.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't like him. I think Milwaukee's better off without him. Who did you guys hire somebody yet, or
no? I think we're going internal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hell.
I think we made.
I think Angels got the win. They got Ron Washington.
Oh,
that's their manager.
Super James over the Rumble chat says, Cricket, why did Mississippi State move from minus 13.5 all the way to minus 18?
Somebody knows something, man. It's funny. They fired their coach this week. I've talked to a couple pretty people that I respect pretty big on their takes on things, and a lot of people are on Mississippi State this week. I've seen the line go all the way up there, and I don't want to trust that. I still think they're going to cover it. I think they're going to win it by 3 touchdowns, man. That line's moved 5 points, and something's off. Something's off. And I'll be honest, I haven't dove into it too much. I just listen to the people that I respect a lot, and I watched the line move up like that. They're not scared of it, man. They're about to blow the doors off. That's why I just went ahead and tried to play it safe and went -9.5 in the first half right there. You probably have to lay a little more than that now with it going up that much, but you're still going to – I think anything under 2 touchdowns in the first half, you're fine with Mississippi State.
Brewers hired Pat Murphy as the 20th manager.
So
Absolutely, David. No problem.
That's an internal hire.
Yep. Looks like Yelich loves him. The boys love him. Hopefully.
We let go of Rowdy Tellez and Brandon Woodruff, though, so that sucks.
Oh, man.
Do you know? Well, Woodruff had a shoulder, and with shoulder, I don't know about long term. It's harder to come back from a shoulder injury than it is Tommy John, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know who that is. If I'm a GM or an organization, I'm calling Yadier Molina. I think he can get Wainwright be his pitching coach. I think that'd be a nice.
We're just getting the whole gang back together.
Oh, just in time.
Oh, I got
Craig Counsell of the Cubs. John's here. How you doing, John?
Yeah,
good. It's interesting. Yeah, I like the approach of just going out and getting a guy. I don't like when you basically hire a guy before you fired another, especially when it's a World Series hero and your manager who's taking you through crazy COVID times and the quote unquote biblical losses segment of your ownership. I don't like the way it was handled, but if the ends justify the means, I'm okay with it. I don't know. I also don't think a manager has a whole lot to do with wins and losses the way a football coach does. So, to do all cloak and dagger to hire somebody in baseball seems like a little bit of overkill. I think, I don't know, mixed feelings. I don't mind the hire at all. I think Counsell's a good coach, but I mean, they got to do a lot of other things in order to win a World Series. So I just wish they had handled it a little bit better. It's not like a college team just went and hired Saban. Put it that way. I could see, in order to see how the sausage is made, you're going to see some ugly stuff, but that's what gets you a national championship. It's not necessarily the case in baseball. But I know a lot of critics of Ross, putting in wrong guys, maybe being stubborn when Jed brings up a guy, he just rides the pine. That's stuff that if you're a manager of a general manager, you say, put up or shut up, do this. I brought him up for a reason, that seems like something where maybe managerially they weren't on the same page. And then that's when you just go ahead and say, I don't think you're the right guy. And there's no hard feelings there. I have an opinion of bringing guys up. You have a different opinion. I'm your boss. So either do it or, you're gone. And that's pretty amicable if you do it that way. But, to give a guy a call down in Florida and say, hey, by the way, we hired Craig Counsell, come pick up your shit. It's a little rough.
What are you guys going to do at first base, John?
I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm not quite so tuned into the Cubs. I'd have to ask around and see what the thoughts are. I know we got a good squad. I know they basically squandered it down the stretch and more or less ended where we thought they would. I think the big news right now is really Shohei Ohtani. And the word on the street is it comes down to us and the Dodgers. And honestly, if we hire Counsell, there's a lot of strings attached to that saying we're going to spend money in free agency. And I think we're going to do everything we can to get Shohei Ohtani, try to keep Bellinger. I really do like the team.
Move him to the bullpen.
Gosh, could you imagine?
Yeah. Ohtani can't pitch next year because of the surgery, but he'll be, he can play outfield. DH.
You know what's better than once every 5 games? If we could bring him in 3 out of every 5 games.
My little brother just texted me with an idea, said I need to build a couple of ARs, one that's a Packer-themed AR and one that's a Brewer-themed AR, and get them hung up here.
Ooh, that would set us apart.
Sends a message.
That's the kind of thing that would set us apart. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on it. Yeah, we're going to do that now. So
we will quickly and swiftly be on the no-fly list.
Yeah. Speaking of expanding your horizons into cool new things, Scotty Scheffler. Golf wasn't enough. Golf wasn't enough for this fucking guy, but also it shows how easy pickleball is. It's a tough look when your world's number one gets absolutely worked over by the number one in another sport, especially if that sport is golf. But that's exactly what happened at the Carvana PPA Tour Celebrity Showdown. Scotty Scheffler teamed up with Anna Lee Waters in a match against former tennis player John Eisner and current top-ranked pickleballer Ben Johns. And they just wiped the floor with him.
Well, when do we start talking about Scotty Scheffler being the greatest athlete of all time?
I mean, he's in Jim Thorpe territory right now.
I'm just saying.
Hold on. It's pickleball is a lifetime sport, which means you're supposed to be able to play it, well on into your late years. So if you have any type of athletic ability, I think you can be decent at pickleball.
Yeah.
I've never played pickleball.
I have.
I think it's dumb. I like tennis. It's sort of a poor man's tennis.
Okay.
It's one of those you walk away. Yeah, okay. It's one of those where you walk away and for the next 18 hours, you're sore in muscles you didn't realize you had in your hips and your joints. I don't love it, but whatever gets old people up and moving, that's great. Right. I just really think this is like the crypto thing where Tom Brady invests in it. He buys a team and it's just like, all it was ever going to be is just a retirement home game. And for people who want to play it once a quarter, this isn't like, I don't know a lot of people in pickleball leagues. I live down the street from a big pickleball, like they have 12 courts, it's booked, it's popular, but I don't see it being like a professional league type of sport that generates money.
They ain't gonna put it in the Olympics.
They might put it in the Olympics because they're putting weird stuff in the Olympics.
That would be such an Olympic thing to do, wouldn't it? That would definitely sound like an Olympic sport. We won't actually put good. Do we even have tennis in the Olympics? Like we won't actually put the real game in there, but we'll put pickleball in there, like ping pong and shit. That's fair. Makes sense.
That's a good point. Ping pong is pretty fun to watch. So maybe it'll be one of those winter sport or one of those Olympic sports that people tune into. And you got Scotty Scheff bringing home the gold.
You've graduated to complete degeneracy when you're betting on ping pong matches.
Oh,
that you can't even watch most of the time because they're like overseas and underground. But excuse me, not ping pong, table tennis.
Yeah,
table tennis. That's right.
Yeah. I want to be.
Didn't he like Kirilov? Just bet anybody with the last name Kirilov, and you're good.
Okay.
I usually just bet the dog. I just like a really good sport. I just bet the dog. I'm like, it's ping pong. Anybody can win, right? These guys all got to be good.
Exactly. By the time you get to that level, everybody's good.
Yeah. I just want to sweat at something I can't even watch.
Yeah. Congrats to LeBron James. No player in NBA. He turned the ball over 5,000 times. Nobody's ever done that before. Here's how the mainstream media has spun it. No player in NBA history has ever had the ball enough to turn it over 5,000 times.
Oh, my God.
If nothing else, it's a testament to both James' longevity and the enormous workload he's carried within every offense he's ever played on.
Jesus Christ.
Your MSM at work. That's fake news. He has caught the ball up 5,000 times.
That's what I'm saying. About every week and a half, he's going to break some kind of record because he's played 47 seasons in the NBA. And eventually, we're going to hear this all year long. They're just going to spin it to how he's the GOAT of all time. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about LeBron. I'm not a huge LeBron hater, but I don't think he's the greatest of all time, man.
No, I'm a Jordan guy, man.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
I respect his athletic accomplishments. He's just insufferable.
I will tell you this as a human being, or he's probably a pretty good guy. As
I like
his
LeBron.
Political views are fucked.
Oh, I don't pay attention to that.
But I know that he just puppets and parrots what's going to get his contract.
Well, he was world famous at 17.
That's what I was going to say. That we have not seen him in trouble, and he had money from the jump, and he's been married and he's been a dad.
Yeah,
his kids are good kids, and they do the right. It seems I don't know.
He's a world-class human being, man.
Yeah,
he really is, because he's had an impossible situation from a very young age.
Yeah,
and it's all been thrown in his face. It would have been real easy to screw that up with all the money.
9 out of 10 times it gets screwed up.
Yeah, exactly. So the fact he's made it this long with no scandals and stuff, and you're right, man. His kids seem to be doing the right. LeBron is a good person. That's why I can't hate him too bad, because I mean he's done it
He's
on
that good.
impossible circumstances.
He's obviously understood to surround himself with good people.
Yeah, he's not a dummy.
No, he's very smart. I'm sure. I don't know. Sometimes you get a mentor that's not for you, and sometimes you don't. It seems like more than often it's the mentors that are fucking these kids. And
you're not wrong. It's so funny how you gotta like. Go ahead, John.
I think the thing that is different about him than Jordan, it seems like he's still seeking approval from somebody, and maybe I don't have to go too far down this rabbit hole, but like he didn't have a real strong father figure in his life the way Jordan did, and I've heard other commentary on him where he's constantly trying to make himself in the headlines, trying to be the perfect person in a way that's seeking approval. That it's kind of strange, where it's like, whether it's the social justice stuff where that's its own story too. He's got all these things that how they're still looking for the people that spray painted the hate speech on his gate at 5 a.m. that nobody saw. He's got some odd stories that just come out of a weird place. And honestly, I'll give him that, as long as he's good influence on people. I guess his school's kind of a dumpster fire, but at least he's trying. At least he's putting himself out there. He's trying. Hats off to him, never getting in trouble. That being said, he does have this kind of cloying, approval-seeking behavior that I find kind of lame. And I think that's what a lot of people see. They see him reading the first page of a book 12 times throughout his career. It's like, what are you doing? We don't get. He kind of comes off as a school dork, but he happens to be one of the greatest that's ever played the game. And apparently that's not enough for him to just be content with who he is there. It's just a lot of these other forays, the shop. I don't need to see him sitting around a barbershop spewing all of his ideas and thoughts and all that. So.
Yeah, well, it's so funny, man. It's like you have to pick Jordan or LeBron. Like, you can't just like them both, man. You got to pick one that's like Democrat or Republican. You got to pick a side, one side or the other in this thing. And we probably created part of that, I guess, lack of confidence on his part.
He did, by crowning himself the king. Kobe
What about
that.
But was that even him, really? I mean, remember that? The man on ESPN, the magazine and stuff, at 17 years old, they're the one putting the crown on him. It's a clever name, King James, yada, yada. But we have been creating this where it's him against Jordan. And at 17 years old, man, you got to be compared to the greatest of all time, and you got to go. And let's be honest, a lot of people are going to buckle under that pressure.
9 out of 10. In fact, it's 10 out of 10 if he wasn't around, because I wouldn't believe that anybody could do it.
Exactly.
Heavy Steps makes a good point. The decision is where he lost a lot of us, I think. That's when we were like, all right,
that was douchebaggery, man.
This guy's corny.
Some of it is for me, it's the way he parrots the China talking points. And the way he parrots the fucking woke bullshit. The what is it called? Social justice warrior shit. I can't with that motherfucker. But on one hand, I don't care enough about money to sell out to that as a human. Like, I'd rather go out there with an axe and I'll build my own fucking house and I'll shoot my own food before I do that. And that's just how it's going to be. I'm not going to change. But most people, when you put a $300, $400, $500, $600, $700 million in front of their nose, they'll be like, what do you want me to say? Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I could say that. Or even as simple as just don't talk about this. Like, just say no comment. Okay.
It always goes back to the hypocritical nature of, if you're going to be social justice warrior and then support China, why don't you look into what they're doing? Like, if you want to go down that route and look at it, it's pretty rough. So it looks a little bit hypocritical, and that just feeds narratives that he probably doesn't want to have, and it just gets him into discussions that, honestly, a professional athlete should probably avoid. It's like Jordan saying Republicans buy shoes too. Like, I don't want to get into that, but he does, and so he gets a lot of the criticism that comes with putting.
I don't know that Jordan stays out. I don't know that Jordan stays out of the political landscape in 2023. He was a basketball player when it was much different.
Yep.
It's impossible to stay out of that. If you're a face of the world
in the NBA, yes, it's impossible. And there's. In MLB, it's not. In NHL, it's not. In NFL, it's a little bit harder. NBA is very much. NBA has been at the forefront of, like, they saw an interview with a guy who didn't want to kneel during the bubble. And he was just like, that's just not what I feel is right. And he was the only one because he didn't want to take a political stand. His thing was,
he was the outlier.
And he's probably out of the league now. He probably doesn't have a job anymore.
What was his name?
I have to look it up. He is still playing because he's good.
He also does a lot of stuff with the Daily Wire. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but regardless, you get a target on your back if you say, guys, this isn't for me.
Absolutely.
Back to your other point, John, there's no way to get more approval showered upon you as a famous person than to go along with all this social justice shit, because they just love
to comment on every single thing that happens is now the job of somebody if you've already painted yourself as somebody who fights for justice. It's like every little thing that happens, let's get your instant reaction. It happened today. Let's hear it. We don't need to know all the facts. Don't worry about it. And I think that's unfortunately a side effect of what we live in today.
Yeah, and it sucks having to mix sports and politics, stuff like that. Because, I mean, you got all the politics, the real life shit all day, every day. A lot of people tune into sports to get away from all that and as a release and for entertainment. And they take a lot of the entertainment out of it. That's like ESPN these days. I mean, I almost can't watch sports there anymore because of the shit they put on there. It's completely different than it was when I was a kid. And there's so much political and social injustice and all this stuff. Like, hey, man, we just want to play ball.
Mm-hmm. Sports Center Before the Bus Stop was my favorite TV show all through middle school and high school. I mean, Sports Center used to be awesome. Cool as the other side of the pillow. Bartender, Jack. I mean, they had some great home run calls and web gems. A little more basketball. Wembanyama so far. He's had some good games, averaging 18.6 points per game, 9 rebounds, 2 or more blocks in 7 of 11 games. He's got a few games with 5 blocks. He had 29 versus Minnesota, 38 versus Phoenix. So it's all going pretty well after about a dozen games, I guess. Kid is giant. I see why they call him the alien. He literally looks like an alien. His first game, he showed up dressed in all black with sunglasses on. I'm like, that he's gigantic. And so
he looks like he weighs 140 pounds.
Yeah. And his arms are 4 feet
Slender
long.
Man.
I don't know how
Wasn't he the Slender Man for Halloween? I think he was.
Yeah. Like that. You know, he'd be like one of those things outside a car dealership, crazy inflatable arm guy.
Yes. I saw him dunk the other night, and did you guys ever have like a Nerf basketball
price
hung on the door?
Yeah,
I feel like that's what it's like for him to play basketball in real life. Like his head is at the rim when he shoots. Like he barely has to jump to put the ball in the hoop. It looks like he's
really
gonna break something though. It's crazy, like how long it's.
I feel like I'm playing ball against my kids, man, on their little bitty goal. Like that.
He makes the court look smaller in a way that like Shaquille O'Neal did.
Makes the earth look smaller. It's pretty insane, man. I can't believe they make humans that big, dude. You got to be from another planet.
He's
it's probably grew him on Planet Nike.
It's the big European wave that's coming over the NBA.
Yeah,
like your top 5, 4 out of them are probably from Europe.
Or the D League.
Yeah.
College basketball has taken a major hit on that, man.
Mm-hmm. To be honest,
the best players in the world are not there.
A lot of those guys that come over, and this is kind of I think a big problem with the NBA is you got like guys like Ja Morant coming in at 19, getting handed millions of dollars. Gosh, what do you expect? It's going to be a dumpster fire. But some of these European guys are getting slapped around by 30-year-old men for 4 years before they come over here. They come over a little bit more humble, a little more mature. I mean, just the maturity you have between 19 and 24 is like your maturity doubles.
Yeah.
So they come over here a little bit smarter, know how to handle their business a little bit better. And then you got these just, I don't know, flamethrowers coming out of college that are just idiots. Like, oh, God.
Just call it what it is, idiots.
I would have done the exact same thing. Maybe not the guns in the strip club, but I would have done something.
Why do you need a gun, man?
I know.
Like, why do you need a gun, bro? Come on.
I pass that strip club every week. It's right.
He's got to decide. He's got one or the other. He can have the gun or he can have the phone because he clearly can't handle both of them.
No. Exactly. Speaking of just dumb things to do, it turns out the people who stole the jewelry from the Colorado Buffaloes while they were playing at UCLA was recruits on an official tour. Like, you've made it all the way to the official tour at UCLA, and that's the moment you decide to throw it all away.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
You're there for a recruiting trip, man. You'll be able to get your own jewelry here in like 6 months, bro.
Dude, the NFL is right there. I mean, it's not
Right
right
there.
there, but it's on the table now.
Like it's
Again.
clearly a possibility.
Yeah.
Again, 18 and just your eyes are bigger than your brain for sure.
John, let's be real. We were 18 too. We did some crazy shit. I wasn't a fucking thief.
No, I wasn't either.
I didn't steal shit. I knew if it wasn't mine, especially expensive ass jewelry, I knew that shit wasn't mine. For one, I wouldn't even have my ass in the locker room when I wasn't supposed to have been in there.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's dumb. That's an all-time dumb move for sure.
Yeah.
They probably hang out with Ja Morant.
They probably do. I don't get it. Because you're right. I mean, you can't look 6 months into the future. Now, I understand being 18 and being dumb, but good grief, you got to be a complete idiot. You can't tell me that none of those offers or all of those offers aren't rescinded at this point.
Yeah.
Can you believe how the parents felt when they found that out? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. We had a free ride to UCLA, kid.
And it's like you said,
I told people this.
Yeah, no kidding.
Now I told you
I
them
didn't
this.
Now you're going to community college after you do your community service.
Yeah.
Why is he going to community college? Oh, he wants to be like Aaron Rodgers. That's all.
Yeah, he's going to be on that Netflix show with the cast-offs from all the other. Yeah.
Last chance you
getting screamed at by some white guy who thinks he's black.
They probably sent him a Facebook message as soon as they found out he stole that jewelry.
Yes.
They're like, you're one of our guys, man.
We got a spot
Joey Burrow done for the season. He had his hand landed on a little weird by Clowney when he was sacked, but he also got off the bus with some sort of brace wrap device thing on his hand. He was not on the injury report. I'm not sure. He has a torn ligament. He's going to have season-ending surgery on his wrist. How do we know he didn't get off the bus with a torn ligament in his wrist?
I think he did.
At what?
I think he did.
+4? What was it? Baltimore -4?
It said at 3.5 all week long. You had all that money pouring on the Bengals. They moved it up.
I had money on the Bengals.
We all had money on the Bengals.
No, we all didn't. We all didn't. I had the Ravens. But,
you did? Shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
And if we knew, I already forgot what the backup's name was. I just watched him play football. If we knew he was the starter, I mean, what is that line? 9.5?
Oh, at least it's got to be double digits. Yeah, I mean, I think it's got to at least get close to 10 right there. But it just doesn't make any sense when Vegas is doing that. That's what we talked to Steps about it. He's heard this over and over. That's why he ain't paying no attention right now. But it was at 3.5 all week long, and all this money was pouring in on the Bengals, and then they moved it up to -4. They're never gonna do that. It just doesn't make any sense. Why? That tells you right there they're not
mathematically. It doesn't make sense.
They want to pour some more money on those Bengals. They're like, oh, we'll just give them a better number because they're all taking the bait. Not saying it happens. I take the bait sometimes too. This one just felt funny because why? And then you have Burrow go down. I think there had to be some rumbling somewhere. Zach Taylor said he didn't know shit. Somebody knew something. Burrow was hurt getting off.
Sure, they did. So I looked right before the game to see how it was bet, and it was 49-51. So which means that they set it perfectly, to get even split, and then they moved it. Come on. It's a little shifty. Now, what I really think happened is we know Joe Burrow will play through any injury he possibly can. He did it his rookie year. I guarantee you he was like, I'm not getting x-rayed. I'm playing. Quit asking.
Yep.
Like, just stop. And then the worst thing happened. And
he falls on it and he can't even grip the football.
Yeah. I mean, that was
his arm just dropped on the sideline.
The shots of him throwing, I mean, it looks like straight out of a Hollywood movie where he's just like, nope.
Yeah.
And
when you're
they had a camera right in his face.
You act like you're gonna hit him with it, and you like just let it. Yeah, it looked like what he was doing right there, man. I was like, he ain't doing that on purpose. That's not good.
And the passes he was completing before he went down were all low and behind the receivers. Like he wasn't getting all the zip on the ball. That hand or wrist was messed up.
I don't think they had a chance. That's what I'm saying. Going into that game, they got to let us know. And the NFL kind of does take this pretty seriously. There was an instance back in 2019 where the Steelers actually got fined $75K. Mike Tomlin got fined $25K. It was like week 2 because they misreported Ben Roethlisberger or something. So the NFL is kind of investigating this, saying, Zach Taylor's always going to say he didn't know because you don't want to look like an idiot by putting this guy out there and then getting him put out for the year when you still had everything to play for at this point. Going into that game, they had everything to play for. Now it's a lost cause. Now all those people under 11.5 wins feel real good about that for the Bengals. But yeah, they got to do something about this, man. We got to let us know. There's too much money riding on this stuff.
Exactly.
And the NFL does do so much more than any other league when it comes to injury reporting. One, because they know everybody's gambling and that's their meal ticket.
Yeah.
And two, I think they're going to send somebody in there and say, we want to know exactly what you did to Joe Burrow the week before. And if you were negligent in not getting x-rays, if you were negligent in doing this, because, 9 out of 10 players in the NFL are going to play hurt. It's your job as the Bengals to know exactly how hurt he is. Because if you trot him out there and he's one hit away from ending his season, you're hurting the NFL.
Yeah.
So the NFL is probably pretty pissed.
Did they do an x-ray and bury it? That would be even worse. But they probably said, we don't want to know. We're going to let him play. We don't want to know.
You're probably right, John. He probably said, I don't want an x-ray. He probably knew that he thought he could play through. He's a tough guy, clearly. But, yeah, you paid this man $275 million. You don't think I know what size his jock is for $275 million.
Yep.
Maybe the answer is robot quarterbacks. We could get them from China. China plans to make a robot army by the year 2025. I saw a bunch of articles about this. The government's, quote, opinions on the innovation and development of humanoid robots outlines goals and timelines.
I think that's pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
Which means they already have it.
We're going up like 100 years in evolution in 18 months.
That tells me they have it already. They expect to have a domestic ecosystem for humanoid robots, whatever that is,
what do you established
need that for? By 2025.
Somebody break that down in the chat. What the fuck is that?
By that time, robotic products are likely to be in mass production, fast catching up with international contenders. By 2027, they want to establish a reliable industrial supply chain with products from this sector seamlessly integrated into the real economy. A robot takeover. Robots building robots. This is how it happens.
They've made
the robots are building the robots. We're
starting.
They've made a bunch of movies about why this is a terrible idea. It's like Jurassic Park. You want to clone the dinosaurs? They made 11 movies about why that's a terrible idea.
Yes.
It really started with militaries using drones for strikes.
Yeah.
You don't have to fly a plane over something. Now you've got a drone that can just do it for you without the human element actually up in the air. So now we're advancing to an invasion of robots are going to come. Probably on the California coast.
They're going to fucking hate us too.
They've done studies on the guys who fly those drones and do the attacks, and it will mentally mess you up if you're one of those guys, because they're like, well, it's just like playing a video game. It takes kind of the human element out of it.
It ain't.
And it's just the opposite, because they use those drones to stalk these guys for like 2 weeks. And so basically it's like, that lab rat you've been watching for 2 weeks, go and kill it now. And it's a human. And it's really dark. And you're going to see like a lot of these guys, they literally just go into some nondescript office park, launch some missiles and stuff, and then leave. And they're just like, what the fuck did I just do?
Yeah, bro. It's like sitting out in the parking lot at the Food City or something. They'll go in there and they press a button. They've been watching this guy. And let's be real. They don't always get that right, man. There's innocent people that get killed in those things too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to the world. It's an ugly place, bro.
They'll probably begin
There's some
with
shit going on behind the scenes.
They'll put them in the most dangerous factory jobs and the places where there's bad ventilation and, people get sick and die or get injured on a high rate. And then they'll gradually become waiters and waitresses. And then they'll just all of a sudden one day show up at your door, stacked 12 deep.
Yeah.
Talking about how you're a virus on the earth.
With Green Bay Packer ARs ready to go.
That's right. They've already got one in New York City subway system. They've got robot cops.
They already shoved one out. They already shoved one off the subway. Like a clunk, it was laying on the track.
Did nobody watch how much trouble Will Smith had with those things?
Right.
Bro, he
was the last man standing.
Many movies since the 80s about this, and nobody's got a clue.
What was the good Sylvester Stallone movie? Was that Robo? No.
You talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger? Terminator?
No, it was Terminator, but RoboCop.
Demolition Man?
Demolition Man.
That's a good one. That's like cryo shit, though, man. That's like cryo sleep and stuff.
Everybody needs to go out and buy their fucking wife beaters from Walmart, and let's get ready to go 80s fucking superhero movie on these motherfuckers. John's got the bandana. Go start working out. Get your wife beater on. Put some fucking black on, and let's go Terminator, motherfucker. Rambo and shit.
Hey, speaking of Demolition Man, I just want to know how they use those 3 seashells, man. I got to know how they use the seashells. They have seashells instead of tulip. I got to know, man. How do you do that?
The global market for humanoid robots, currently valued at about $1.5 billion, is supposed to jump 21% from 2023 to 2030.
Hey, real quick, let Largo over on the Rumble chat. The Rumble chat is live, y'all. It says, well, the biggest fear with AI is probably of a nuclear launch by AI bot because of a false alarm. Boy, that ain't no bull. You can't turn over those fucking keys to AI, because that AI is going to be programmed to hate us.
Yes.
Because we are a parasite on this planet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, why are we creating our own exterminators?
You'd be disturbed if you knew how many military decisions AI was making already.
Hey, real quick, I want to give y'all. I got another top.
Well, it's fucked up.
I want to give it to
foreign
y'all.
Policy. Go ahead.
I want to give it to y'all in time, because like I've already, it's on my card. I got Northwestern +3, but this line is flipped all the way around to Northwestern -2.5 right here. Northwestern's about to thump Purdue. I think that might wind up even being my top college football bet of the week. But it kicks off at noon, so y'all got about 30 minutes or so.
I did
but
bet
if
it
you haven't yet, get on Northwestern, man.
I will
on it
momentarily.
Actually, if you did it yesterday when I put the picks out, you got points, because it was like
+3.
I started to say it was +3, and it's flipped all the way around -2.5. Come on now, that's one of them things, man. And they're gonna leave it right there at 2.5. That way if they win by a field goal, which now I think they're gonna win by 2 touchdowns. But if they win by a field goal, they still get all the come on.
They played that perfectly.
Yeah.
The Penguins are going to retire Jaromir Jagr's number 68. The ceremony will take place in a couple days. I think his 52nd birthday was yesterday. While with the Penguins, he won 5 Art Ross trophies for leading the league in scoring, including 4 straight between 98 and 2001. He also won a Hart Trophy, aka MVP, in 95. 439 goals, 1,079 points in 11 seasons with the Penguins before he was traded to Washington. Age 29, he seemed older than that. In 2001, because the Penguins have financial problems. My question is, why did it take so long? Why did we wait till he's 52?
Because he just retired on Tuesday. I'm pretty sure I bet him for anytime goal scorer last week.
He's been around.
He did play till about 50.
He's been doing stuff.
He's an automatic Hall of Famer, man. One of the greats of all time. You're right. This jersey should have been in the rafters, man.
That's a guy that benefited from, like you were saying, Sports Center being a kid. I don't think I watched a single Jaromir Jagr game, but
I knew Jaromir Jagr.
I know who Jaromir Jagr is. Yeah. I was 12 years old in Illinois. I wasn't watching a lot of Pittsburgh Penguins. I know you were a fan, Eric, but
shit, I couldn't even spell.
We were a fan because we were playing it on 93 fucking NHL hockey on Sega.
Yeah, that's true.
You could be the Rangers or you could be the Penguins.
We didn't have an ice rink in 500 miles, and I knew about Jaromir Jagr, man.
That mullet, that Billy Cyrus fucking made him jealous. Mullet.
Yep.
Oh, he said Billy Ray Cyrus. Achy breaky heart.
Hockey players take pride in the long hair, the ones who grow it. The Vegas Sphere reports a $98 million loss already, and their CFO quit. What was his name? The loss was announced around a week after Gautam Ranj resigned as Sphere Entertainment's chief financial officer, according to the SEC. They say he held the job for 11 months. The people at the Sphere say it has nothing to do with the loss. There's just a little difference of opinion. It's all amicable. I think did he flee a flaming ship? I saw they were trying to sign Beyonce to a short residence there. The thing is pretty cool. I don't think they're going to have a hard time booking acts, but maybe they bit off more than they could chew, John.
Joe Rogan. Well, Joe Rogan had a hell of an idea when he had Elon on. Him and Elon had come up with how to fix this.
Just blow it up and charge tickets to see it.
No,
that'd be awesome.
Elon Musk wants to fight Mark Zuckerberg in the Sphere.
I wish he'd beat his dumb ass.
Well, I think that pay-per-view would fucking probably pay the Sphere off, and you'd be.
I'd have to see who owns it and if they're public and all that stuff. But it's not weird that it loses $96 million. I'm sure it cost $1 billion to make, and they haven't booked anything yet.
It's going to take a couple years. Guys. Everybody pump the brakes, man. You put $900 million into it. You've only lost 81. Just relax for a minute, man.
Give it a couple
that
of years.
actually might be accurate what you said, because a lot of that, and I've worked for a couple companies that are private, about to go public, and a lot of it is you might have one CFO come in and acquire all the funds to make it, and then maybe you've got another type of CFO who has a different set of skills, which is like, here's how we make it profitable over the next 10 years. Here's how we sell it financially if we want to new ownership or things like that. There's a lot of things that they could disagree about. Okay, now that we've got it built and it's up and running, how do we get it to profitable within 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? And they might disagree about how they do that. So I wasn't surprised to see that it's lost money. For God's sakes, it hasn't had a chance to make money yet. But yeah, it could just be differences of opinion of whether they want to get in the red or in the black in the next 2, 3, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it may be. That doesn't sound too crazy. Now, if it had been there for 30 years and it had lost money, then yeah, that's a problem. And then you fire them. But yeah, I don't know.
So you're saying in the game of in the financial game, this isn't an eye opener. It's
No.
a Tuesday. It's normal.
No, without getting into details, I worked for a company years and years ago that they did have a different CFO to get it to from A to D, and then they wanted a different CFO to get it from D to all the way to
Hey,
Z.
we had I worked at a big corporation. We had 4 different CFOs, and it was 4 different. We were starting into the new commercial contract game.
Yeah,
that was one CFO. Then we were building, like buying other companies and building us. That was another CFO. Then there was a CFO that just planed us and kind of kept us like this. And then when the last CFO came in, that was obviously because we were about to sell. So he got us ready to sell.
And sometimes a lot of these CFOs,
and they weren't like, this guy's leaving, he just left. They were like, this is the plan. Like they knew that when they hired on, they knew.
Yeah. And sometimes a CFO can come in as almost like a hired hand because he has connections with brokerage. And if he gets in there and looks at the books for 2 years and likes what he sees, then he's got 10 people he can probably sell it to. So it's not eye-opening. That's just the way it works. This guy isn't out on the street. Let's put it that way.
Can we still book Zuckerberg and Musk for a fucking MMA fight in the Sphere?
You can.
I want to see
that
CFO who can make that happen.
There's a line on it.
There is a line on it already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan said we get it all commissioned, and Dana White was like, "I'm in."
I hope they beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah. Apparently, Elon Musk drove to Zuckerberg's house in L.A.
Showed up.
Mark and was like, anytime, any place, I'm right here.
Mark in the Rumble chat says Purdue quarterback not playing.
Yeah. He's dropping. Mark over in the chat and Super James, Pissant, and Let Largo are dropping nuggets over there.
Yeah.
So go over to Rumble, Patriot Sports, and they're getting with it over there.
They always do, man.
Just a second, though. I wanted to talk about what they put on the line for the fight, though, and he was being serious.
Mm-hmm.
Winner gets the other guy's algorithm. and gets to fire and hire their own safety internet people. So, and there are 2 different philosophies here. So if Elon Musk beats him, he gets Facebook's safety, that whole team, and gets the algorithm.
The boards of these 2 companies have just are probably drinking themselves to death.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, seriously. Could you imagine being on the board? Being on the board of Twitter and seeing your owner just a wild card every single day. You don't know what he's going to do.
The people on the board are probably 70. They don't even know what's going on.
Just a bunch of stressed out millionaires sitting around. They got all the money in the world, just stressed. Playing pickleball. They can't beat Scheffler.
There's a series on Netflix about the rise and fall of Uber I watched that was pretty good.
It's already fallen?
I love that stuff, dude.
Well, the rise and fall of the kid who started Uber, I should say.
Yeah. It's always kids.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays him. He's pretty good. Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays a good douchebag.
Plays a good douchebag. Yeah, he does.
The old Third Rock from the Sun. That was a
that's
good
where
show.
he got his start. Yeah. Speaking of douchebags, people are letting their kids take shits in line at Disney parks.
What the fuck?
There's a Disney Reddit that is going crazy with stories from visitors and employees alike. One reply said, for the skeptics, this actually happened. Somebody said, Rise of the Resistance. They were in line. Someone let their kid just take a shit on the floor and they just walked away from it like it never happened. One of the employees replied, yeah, this actually happened. Fun fact, this was the third time. And I was there for all three that day. They have a hallway. They have a hallway that they call like the shit hallway, where they had to put a camera in because so many people were sneaking back there. Like, how great is the ride? Also, provide bathroom.
What is this hallway?
Throw a fucking bathroom there. Disney, are you broke?
Disney World, man. Look, I've been to Disney World probably 50 times. My grandfather, my mom's family from Orlando, and my grandfather's retired from Disney. I used to go down a couple of weeks in the summer, stay at my grandparents. They just drop me off or they let me go do my thing. You get in for free, whatever. Disney World
time, fellas, different time.
When you're standing in those lines, man, let's just be honest. There's a lot of people that come from other countries and things like that. A lot of people don't believe in deodorant. So you stand in line, it smells like a bag of Crystal hamburgers any damn way. And it is a real foul place. But the fact that you have a hallway that more than one person in the history of the world just goes and drops a dooski in and leaves it laying there, this is a problem. Yikes. Why is this a problem?
Yikes. Yeah.
E. coli?
Yeah, it's got to be.
It's the end of the republic, ladies and gentlemen. We're shitting in the hallways at Disneyland.
Just get a diaper if it's a problem. I mean,
why are these kids not in diapers? Why, for one, why are you? I would bust my kids' fucking ass if they did some shit like that.
Yeah.
Evidently,
if you ask the shit bad enough where you shit in the hallway, you fucking go find a bathroom and you get in the back of the line because it just wasn't your day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not your time to ride the ride. Two former Disneyland custodial team workers have also written about this topic. They have a book called Cleaning the Kingdom, Insider Tales of Keeping Walt's Dreams Spotless.
Oh, wow.
Somebody check that out if you're interested.
Somebody read that.
So they had not one but two custodial people that had to write about this. This is fascinating. This is a real thing to me.
It really is. I had no idea, Cricket. Eric found, I don't know where he finds these nuggets at.
I don't know.
And they want to charge you $10K to go on a Disney World vacation just for a shitty experience?
Yeah. Literally and figuratively.
Literally.
Yeah. Dude, I listened to a podcast on the cult behind Disney World, and there's gangs. There are literal gangs in Disney World, and they have stupid names.
Yeah, have you ever ridden It's a Small World?
Yeah,
I'm just saying those are the most ruthless motherfuckers.
Oh gosh. There's a whole culture behind it.
I had no idea.
There's secret societies within it. It's crazy.
They're going to play that shit in my hell just on repeat. It's a Small World over and fucking over again.
Gosh. Fun story about Disney World. Did you guys watch the Boy Meets World episode where they went down to Disney World?
Boy Meets World, that's a drop.
Probably.
Yeah, I remember what you're talking about.
1993, Boy Meets World.
Topanga. Come on.
Yeah.
Topanga.
Dude,
I was there.
Hair like Screech.
I was there.
Topanga and Kelly Kapowski, the first two loves of my life, man.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Six from Blossom, underrated as well.
But yeah, tell us that story, John.
Who's the
bottom? So I was too afraid to go on a bunch of the rides, so I had to go on. I was in first grade, so I went on my own way. I know. My mom was pissed. She's like, "You sure you can't go on Space Mountain?" I'm like,
paid $9 million to come here. You're gonna ride the teacup.
You want to ride?
First of
you
all,
want to wear a fucking headband? You won't even ride on
right.
Space Mountain? Get the fuck out of here! Take that headband off.
I love roller coasters now, but in first grade, it was 1993. I was not doing it. And so me and my mom had to go in different parts of the park to go on my rides. Meanwhile, my sister and the rest of my family got to meet the cast of Boy Meets World because they were there filming that episode.
Nice.
Bro, that's why they shamed you into loving roller coasters the rest of your life. You didn't want to miss out another shot at Topanga.
Yeah, I know. Right. Now I'm going to Cedar Point, taking the ones that get shut down every 2 years. I love those.
Yeah,
Topanga was like, I don't know. I was probably junior high, high school. She was my first introductions to DSLs because the boy she rocked those motherfuckers.
Is that where they coined that term?
Yeah. That's Topanga. She had them dick sucking lips, boy.
For those of y'all that don't know what DSLs were,
if you don't know what DSLs are, that's a Gen X thing.
It's not a camera. It sounds like a camera, but it's not.
Yeah, it does sound like a camera.
It does.
If these stories What do you got, Heavy?
Yeah.
No,
what
it's
do we do?
no. I said it sounds like that.
This information has damaged you. I know you can where you can go recenter yourself and calm down. Go to cannabloom.pharmacy.com. That's Cannabloom Pharmacy with an F. They got all kinds of stuff to help you find exactly what you're looking for, even if you don't know what you're looking for. Whether you have aches and pains, trouble sleeping, your dog is scared of thunderstorms, a kid just took a shit in front of you, you're not even sure if this is the real world anymore. Cannabloom Pharmacy has safe and effective natural products to help your situation. Go to cannabloompharmacy.com, enter code PSR, get 10% off your purchase today, or go see them on Sumner Street in Hartford and experience the brand new remodeled store they got down there. It's pretty nice. They got one of those, what's that? Epoxy floor. It's far out. It's far out, man.
They got a DJ tonight. Bar's open.
You know,
Nice.
one of those. Yeah. So, suppose we'll wrap it. John's off to Vienna.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
We got to get college bets in.
Safe travel.
How long are you going to be in Vienna?
9 days.
Where's that at?
Austria.
I was excited. Like,
Vienna.
are we talking like Vienna, Austria, or is there a Vienna, Colorado? I don't know about.
You sure
Yeah.
it's cool to just fly over across the pond right now?
Oh, it's great.
I visited the Eagles Nest, and all I got was this stupid T-shirt.
Hey, I don't want to dive too much into it, but what are you doing over there? You just go over like vacation or?
Yeah.
John is a
Globetrotter.
world traveler. You don't know John yet. He's come to us from Mexico, I think France,
Paris.
think Italy.
I feel like you're always in a hotel.
Belize is where I almost
Belize
died.
was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
France is when you had those fucking trucks coming by you every
Yeah.
5 seconds.
And
Those
then
people, those
Ireland.
people over there don't believe in mufflers. Over in France.
Ireland too, yeah.
And then London.
Ireland.
London's where Eric tried to fleece me on a trade, but it ended up working out for me.
Yeah,
Caught me on my
we
birthday.
got him drunk and still missed it.
I made one
Good
trade in
drunk
our
by the
fantasy
trade
because I got
record.
a stacked team, and it was that one.
That's right.
Yeah. So no, I'll be in Vienna. We're doing a lot of the historical stuff. Going to Salzburg for a little bit.
Are you guys getting married? Over
No,
there? Oh, okay.
no, that'll be next year. But yeah, should just be kind of like a chill. A lot of historical, a lot of castles, a lot of stuff like that. So
You're my
Yeah.
kind of people, John. He said, yeah, just a chill trip. You know, we're just going to Vienna.
yeah,
Yeah, my guy. Be safe, man. Have fun.
we'll do.
Financial realm of the world. You get to go to Vienna.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not-
round trip flights are only a couple $100 more than your trip home for Thanksgiving. Then you kind of have a second thought.
Obligation, yeah.
Yep.
That's
No
true.
brainer.
That's
Well,
true.
Thanks, Heavy and Cricket for hanging out with us. Tell the people where you can find where they can find you guys. Cricket, you go first.
Oh, man, for the best value in sports handicapping, come check us out over at sportspicks.locals.com. Got the great Robert Barnes makes official picks. He's got a 5% play out today, but you better hurry, man, if you ain't got it. He's 7-0 on his big 5% plays this year. So come check us out over there, man. sportspicks.locals.com, where we turn the odds in your favor.
And Heavy
Man.
Step, where can we find all your knowledge?
Well, I wish I had something.
Do it better,
similar
Heavy.
to that, but at Heavy Steps, Heavy _ steps everywhere. Action.
Yep.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Instagram.
You want to
everywhere.
download the Action app. It's just called Action. It's green. Then you want to go follow Heavy Steps. And
just
because
tell.
he is crushing the NFL, but I can't say enough. Baseball season's around the corner, and he's about to get into the NBA, dabbling around in hockey. It's about to be over.
Ugh,
Yep.
Buku.
Good.
Buku.
You got to pick
stuff.
the goal scorers by their names, bro.
Yep.
I might have to
That's
try that
exactly.
at this point.
I'm telling you, I'm not researching a damn thing. I have been crushing those anytime goal scorers. Knock on wood. I'm going to lay off them a little bit, but I've seriously been picking the name I like best, and it's been working out.
Are
There you
you?
go.
Do you pick stuff that like just ends in ski?
I just pick. I go to the top 5 favorites,
Okay,
and
then
usually
pick
just
your
whichever
favorite
one
name.
just sticks out to me, man. I don't know. Maybe I got a gift. Maybe I got an
Yep.
goal scoring gift or something. We'll take it.
It's vibes. Vibes are important. Thank you everyone for listening. Downloads and reviews. We love those. We appreciate every single one of them. Tell the people to go over and visit patriotsportsnow.com. They'll love what they find over there. All of our goings on. Anything we're doing, you're going to find it there. Other than Wake and Rake, you can find that on the Fantasy Sports Corp YouTube channel. Go over and subscribe over there. Till next time, be good to each other. Chris, kick the outro music.
I'm almost there.
You've been listening to Patriot Sports Radio. If you're sick of all the national talking heads and biases of mainstream sports media, like we are, this show is for you. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. For more content and merch, hit up www.patriotsportsnow.com. Find us on Twitter at PatriotsPod, on Instagram and Facebook at Patriot Sports Now, and on Getter, Rumble, and YouTube at Patriot Sports. Take care, and we'll see you next time.